Here comes the show, and I say, it'll be okay. Do. All right, here we go. There we go. In 3, 2, 1.
I thought that since you also have psychokinesis, maybe you had realistic dreams too.
Sorry about your sack of shit, Lord.
The morning stream. If you have job, you wear the pants.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to TMS for our last episode of this week. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to bring everyone down so early, but this is our last official episode of this week. Okay.
That's right. Yep.
March 7th, it is 2024. I'm Scott Johnson. Brian Ibbett over there. Hello, Brian.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, man. It's a Thursday, you know. Got the Thursday shit all lined up. It's all fun, all good.
We even had bonus Thursday shit from the Tuesday we missed.
Oh, that's right. We do. Because
Yeah.
Tuesday with our tech issues didn't mean the loss of a guest this week. So a little extra double up today. So look forward to that. We got some fighting words from a listener about bad songs, and we should probably get this out of the way because
we better. Yeah.
It's making the room stink a little bit. Just kidding. It says this. This is Bill in Colorado Springs, so near you. Also, he puts in parentheses, not as bad as Brian thinks. Speaking of Colorado Springs.
You don't know. He doesn't know how bad I think Colorado Springs is.
I think you may have mentioned a couple of times.
It's a very conservative part of the state.
Sure.
And I'll say
a
that,
little
yes.
gun-toady, a little on that end of the scale. And it's
we made Melissa Etheridge boycott our state for quite a while in the 90s kind of thing going on. So
how's that now? Can she come there now?
She can come here now. Yeah, Melissa Etheridge is welcome.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Come to Red Rocks and get all the gum off the seats. Anyway.
Yeah, or at least someone with similar features.
That's right. I love that. We need a country star or a folk star person who looks a little like her. If we could somehow make that arrangement, that'd be great. Good morning, Steam and Boyle. In regards to your discussion on Monday's TMS about the worst songs ever, anything by the B-52 should fill the entire top of that list, in my opinion. I have a visceral reaction every time I hear Rock Lobster or Love Shack. Just awful. I enjoy audibly taking your verbal protrusions, however. Bill from Colorado Springs, not as bad as Brian thinks. I disagree with that wholeheartly.
Yeah.
I love the B-52s,
I'm tired of the song Love Shack.
Right.
But that doesn't mean, I don't think they're, you go back to songs like Dance This Mess Around or Planet Claire or Legal Tender. Oh, Legal Tender is such a great song. Or what's one is it called? Song for a Future Generation.
That one's great.
Man, the album before, I'm going to forget the name of the album that had Love Shack and Rome. It was Cosmic Thing. So the album before Cosmic Thing, whatever that one was, that Mesopotamia? Might have been Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
That album is so fantastic from start to finish. But this guy probably really hates Fred Schneider.
Probably, yeah. It's probably that that guy in the background all the time. I could see that getting on your nerves.
Yeah, because there's no. He doesn't mention Rome, and Rome is a pretty much Fred-free song. There's very little Fred. He's like a backing vocal in the chorus and stuff.
But I could watch Kate Pearson and Cindy Wilson to do any. They're great, man.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Look, if they have a hype man named Fred who hangs around and just talks, that's fine. It's fine.
Right.
I don't even think that album's. I mean, I know it was overplayed. Cosmic Thing was their biggest hit. Their biggest sweep.
Their biggest album. Yeah, it was their. That Love Shack was just played on every college radio, regular mainstream radio, AAA format. All that stuff was. That song was all over it because it was great crossing the streams kind of thing. But,
yeah, and Rome's an amazing song. That was
it's an amazing song. Yeah,
I think
Legal Tender. I'll take Legal Tender any day of the week. That song.
Deadbeat Club. I don't know that one. What is that?
Deadbeat Club. It's the one Oh no, here they come, the members of the Deadbeat Club.
Yeah. That's on that same
Club.
That
There's another one
Deadbeat
that
Club.
very little Fred in there. Like it's not even Fred going Deadbeat Club. It's very mellow Fred in that one.
I love it. I mean, look, I understand why that's annoying for people, but I want more Fred Schneider type things in my life. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm just at a stage where I'd love a guy to just pipe up. Like give me an Adele song. Hello from the other side. The other side. Somebody just doing that.
Right.
Freaking sign me up, man. Well, anyway, we appreciate you letting us know, and we'll take it to heart. It's Bill from Colorado Springs.
Yes, we had a trivia question. Let's see if I can give it to you really quick.
Do it.
Trivia question on Tuesday night was, let's see if I can't find it easily, then I won't. But it was, there are 11 female solo artists with 6 or more number ones in their history, six or more number one Billboard hits. And we had to come up with our list. And we had a list that was like, oh, could be her. Oh, could be her. What about her? And we had just a ton on the list. We ended up getting 8 of the 10, I believe.
Wow, that's pretty good. Can I guess a couple?
Yeah.
Like,
Alanis
Morissette, probably.
No, not
Damn.
Alanis Morissette. No.
All women, all female?
Yeah, well, this list was all female.
Okay.
Yes, the person with the most number ones are the band is the Beatles, and Elvis is
right.
I think, or Michael Jackson might be the solo artist.
So this is female solo artists.
Female solo artists, yeah.
Okay, let's put Dolly Parton on there.
No, surprisingly,
Damn.
she has a lot of country number ones, but not a lot of Billboard number ones.
All right, Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston is one of them. Yes.
Okay.
What about a singer who calls herself the Queen of Christmas, even though other people maybe don't call her the Queen of Christmas?
Oh, the one married to Nick Cannon.
More or less married to Nick Cannon.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's not really conventional marriage, really.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name.
The name you're looking for is Mariah Carey.
Carey. Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
Oh, how about Madonna's on there?
Madonna's on the list. Yep.
Oh, come on, Scott. I can do this.
You can do this.
Cyndi Lauper,
Madonna's
maybe?
at 12 hit number one hits for Madonna. No.
Not going to be enough for her, is there?
Nope. Who's the biggest female artist right now? Appearing on stages and breaking records, and
of course Taylor Swift's on there.
Taylor Swift with I think 11 number ones. Yeah.
Katy Perry on there. She probably around
Katy
5.
Perry's on the list.
Oh, she is.
Yep.
Okay, Katy Perry.
She's on the list. Yeah.
I haven't heard much from her lately. Feels like she just went quiet. Not going on.
Yeah. Well, she's doing the Idol stuff.
Oh, maybe that's why.
I think that's why.
I haven't caught up on any of that. All right.
I think Beyonce was on the list. I'll give you a couple more because I want to get to we want to get to Amy, but right under Mariah Carey is Rihanna with 14 number one hits. Wouldn't be able to.
She goes to work.
That's right. Janet Jackson, that one surprised me as well, but our team did come up with Janet Jackson. Diana Ross is on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Solo, not including the work with the Supremes, which I would have ruled out. How
about What's Love Got to Do? Well, Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, no. A lot of actually, that's a good question. I don't. If that was one of the ones on the list, it was one of the ones we didn't get.
All right. Yeah. She only runs Bartertown, not Singles.
That's right.
Whatever town.
Right.
That's great. That's a fun one.
It was a fun list. It was a fun trivia question.
Yeah, I agree. All right, pulling Amy in because we didn't get her on Tuesday. We're going to cram her in today. We used to do this anyway. She used to come on Thursdays, but so this wasn't that big of a stretch for us. But we're going to do that right now and do this.
One of the things that I enjoy also is reading.
Well, that's good because Amy's here to talk about reading. Amy Robinson, a.k.a. Red Fraggle 3. Hello and welcome back.
Oh, hello, friends.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm glad we could do this and not scoot you out because of our dumb technical problems. That made me happy.
Because
Me
Tuesdays,
too.
we're locked in. Like, it'd be another month before we'd roll back around to you on Tuesdays.
I know, and people gotta know what to read, man.
Exactly. There's people sitting out there. They're looking at People magazine for all we know because they don't have a book because
That's
we
right.
didn't have a
That's
site.
Right?
Now,
Yeah.
some
Chuck and I were talking about magazines the other day, and he was expressing his surprise that there is still a print version of Wired magazine. He was like, of all the magazines you would think would go completely digital, Wired would be the one.
Wired actually may be the only magazine I've purchased in the last 12 months.
Same.
And it was because I was in an airport and I needed something to read on the plane. And I didn't want to watch a movie or I basically was like, I just want to sit and read something magazine wise. Want some short form disposable reading.
we still subscribe. We subscribe to it for the one main reason is that it's a very nice, like the quality of the cover. Like, and this is a weird thing to like, but do you remember Next Generation magazine, Brian? How awesome those covers were.
Yeah, nice, thick, almost cardstocky cover.
I loved that. I don't know why. I just thought it was like a
too.
special sort of thing about it. And Wired has amazing art direction and all this other stuff. So that's the reason I still do that. But it's the only one. I think Kim gets like some girl thing. I don't know what it is.
We had a subscription to
some girl thing.
I don't know what it is.
Cosmopolitan or Vogue. Or
Probably some BS
Good House,
like that.
Better Housekeeping or Good Housekeeping. Yeah, we had a
reading that.
subscription to Entertainment Weekly up until they shut down. And then they sent us a letter saying, hey, we've decided to cease publication on our printed copy or printed Entertainment Weekly, but you do still have some time on your subscription. So we've automatically moved you over to People magazine.
Oh.
And you should have seen the disappointment in my face of like, oh, that's not the same thing.
That's not a
is
good
such
alternative.
different-
That's a terrible
No.
alternative because ET
terrible
was
alternative.
in its prime. Entertainment
Yeah.
Weekly's a
Weekly,
great magazine. Loved it.
It was great. Yeah, it had enough snark. It was like People magazine without fawning over celebrities. It was like, here's some facts here's a great interview with this director. Here's some great facts about this movie. Here's, let's talk to the people who are in this movie 25 years later and see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But People magazine is, oh, look what these Real Housewives were wearing.
No interest at
Can't
all.
do it.
Or they'll
Yeah.
have some kind of story where it's like some small town thing of people you never knew, but it'd be like, these people found a way to have 13 tumors on their face and still get married. And it's like, what are we doing here? This is lame. And I've never liked People. Like even as a kid, my mom would get it and it would be like, George Peppard, whatever, whoever was like the end thing back then. And it was always bad. So,
Peppard.
and when I
I tried using,
go
I
ahead.
tore a sheet out of it to try and use it to pick up some cat puke on the carpet. Poor Inara got sick, had a hairball. Tried to use a sheet of People magazine to her page out to clean it up, and the hairball refused. Like the hairball said, no, not that.
It was repellent even to this to this horrible rag. And yes, I meant ET or EW, not ET. I just always say it that way. ET is an extraterrestrial. EW is Entertainment Weekly.
ET is also Entertainment Tonight, which is the gag-inducing TV version of People magazine.
Yeah, but that's got that catchy John Tesh in there, with the John Tesh. Oh man.
Do you think they originally intended like lyrics to be like Entertainment Tonight, da 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 da, Entertainment Tonight?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Mary Hart, that was her idea. She sucks. Well, anyway, now that we've let everyone know how old we are, let's get into it. Hey, Amy. Before we get to your books, real quick, I started a book because I'm in this Dune mood, and somebody had told me, because I've read the first 3 Dune books, and I've considered going further, and I probably will soon. But somebody had said, "Hey, Scott, have you ever read Dan Simmons's Hyperion?" And I went, "No, I never have. I've heard of it. It was a Hugo Award-winning thing, I think late 80s or something. Anyway, it's supposed to be very Dune-esque or, Dune-inspired or a lot of similar vibes, far future, Earth's a mess. We're off doing weird shit now and have, hyperdrives and stasis and all this stuff. And I got to say, if you like Dune, I think you will like Hyperion. So just throwing that out to people. If you're in the Dune mood like I am right now, but you've read the Dune and you'd rather, just venture out into other Dune-inspired stuff, I think
Dune-like.
It's very much a Dune-like. It's doing the same thing.
Dune the same thing.
Dune-ish.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very good. Dan Simmons, Hyperion, available. I think I got it for like $3 on Kindle. It's cheap and highly regarded. It's like one of these ones. And there's like 6 of these books. I've only started this first one, so we'll see how it goes.
Very cool.
Yeah, so there's that.
I have never
Bonus
read
rack.
any of the Dune books or anything like that, and I will. There's a reason why, and we could like. It's good that it's Thursday. This is probably a good Wendi topic for me. 'Cause it's a family of origin thing. My dad was real into stuff like Dune and whatnot, but he was also, and still is, very, very much into things like Ayn Rand, and always tried to get me to read Ayn Rand, and it's bad. I can't. To anybody who likes Ayn Rand, my condolences. Like I can't. It's good on you. Go enjoy whatever. But
more for you.
Yeah.
You can have my share.
Exactly. You can. So for me, I just have this mental block, like everything except Star Trek. My dad also loves Star Trek, and I've never understood. I'm like, Dad, how do you watch Star Trek and then feel like what?
I tried to read Atlas Shrugged, but I couldn't get it. It was boring. I was bored.
It's so no, it's not good. I've read The Fountainhead. It's also not. It's not good.
Yeah.
No,
So there's that.
no.
I'm sure she's for someone. It ain't us.
Yeah.
But didn't they try to they tried to do an Atlas Shrugged movie and it was bad, right?
Oh, they did. They did a movie. It was in 3 parts. My dad, we took my dad to the theater to see it because he was so excited about it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Weird.
And it was also very bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. Ayn Rand for you.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to your clips here. I've got 2 of them. Which one do you want to play here first?
Sure. Let's go with nonfiction first.
Okay. Oh, it won't move here for some reason. Just a moment, please. The nonfiction clip. Here we go.
The fate of British cycling changed one day in 2003. At the time, professional cyclists in Great Britain had endured nearly 100 years of mediocrity. Since 1908, British riders had won just a single gold medal at the Olympic Games, and they had fared even worse in cycling's biggest race, the Tour de France. In 110 years, no British cyclist had ever won the event. Brailsford had been hired to put British cycling on a new trajectory. What made him different from previous coaches was his relentless commitment to a strategy that he referred to as the aggregation of marginal gains, which was the philosophy of searching for a tiny margin of improvement in everything you do. Brailsford said, "The whole principle came from the idea that if you broke down everything you could think of that goes into riding a bike and then improve it by 1%, you will get a significant increase when you put them all together." They redesigned the bike seats to make them more comfortable and rubbed alcohol on the tires for a better grip. They asked riders to wear electrically heated overshorts to maintain ideal muscle temperature while riding, and used biofeedback sensors to monitor how each athlete responded to a particular workout. The team tested various fabrics in a wind tunnel. They tested different types of massage gels to see which one led to the fastest muscle recovery. They determined the type of pillow and mattress that led to the best night's sleep for each rider. Just 5 years after Brailsford took over, the British cycling team dominated the road and track cycling events at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing. During the 10-year span from 2007 to 2017, British cyclists won 178 world championships and 66 Olympic or Paralympic gold medals, and captured 5 Tour de France victories in what is widely regarded as the most successful run in cycling history. How does this happen? How does a team of previously ordinary athletes transform into world champions with tiny changes that, at first glance, would seem to make a modest difference at best? Why do small improvements accumulate into such remarkable results?
So 2 things. One, that guy never pauses after periods. He's really stoked to keep going.
Oh,
They've-
no,
they've
that's
added
me. I did that.
You edited out for speed.
Gotcha.
Yes, I edited it for time. I do that frequently.
Fair enough. All good. But also, this just sounds like the most Chuck-ass book I've ever heard a clip for.
Yeah,
Seems like
I'm
Chuck
kind of
would do it.
interested as well.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so yeah, it's not actually about cycling. That was just
It's
his
just an example
introductory story. So yeah, it's the name of the book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I found out about this book, interestingly, because my daughter actually had a really hard time last semester with keeping up with her schoolwork. She had fallen way behind on all of her stuff. And she's a junior in high school. So, you know, like it's very easy to very quickly feel like you're drowning and can never recover. And so one of her teachers gave her this book and said, you know, I think maybe you'd find some things in this book very helpful. And the book is all about, it's very real steppy, honestly. Like I kind of picked this book for the show as a bit of a, like, I don't know, maybe a little pacifier for those of us who are sad at the death of real steps. And because it's as soon as I read it, I was like, man, this is like exactly what we talk about in Real Steps. It's all about making. Don't try and make, if you want to change your habits, if you want to make changes in your life, don't try and make some big swooping change, because what's going to happen is it's not going to stick, right? You're going to get uncomfortable. Something's going to happen. You're going to get sick one day and you're going to lose your momentum and then it's gone, right? But if you make small incremental changes, just tiny changes here and there, then you can notice really, really big differences. And that's exactly what we do in Real Steps. It's all about like, you know, hey, pick a habit and just try and do it every day. And if you're not able to do that, then you picked one that was too hard, just adjust it. There's no judgment, right? And so he gives a lot of really cool examples of how to sort of keep yourself motivated, how to keep yourself interested when it's boring, you know, to continue doing the same thing over and over again. And one of the most satisfying parts of it was when he explained why it is that good habits are so hard to build, but bad habits are easy, right? Like bad habits just like accumulate without you even knowing. And I've always wondered that. I'm like, why is that? Why is it that the stuff that's bad for us is the stuff that we do all the time? And the reason is this: bad habits tend to reward you immediately, but then be bad for you in the long term. Whereas good habits are maybe not as rewarding up front, but the gains are long term. And so our brain thinks, oh, I want the thing that's immediately rewarding, right? I don't want the thing that feels bad now, but is going to be great later. So what we have to do is we have to trick our brain into thinking that the thing that's good for us is actually fun now. So
interesting.
You know,
I'm usually very skeptical of self-help books, just generally speaking, but based on what I'm seeing here in the synopsis, based on what you're saying, obviously, and also these reviews are freaking off the charts. It seems like maybe this dude's onto something.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass, right? Like it's not like, oh my God, this book changed my life. You know, it's not that. It had a lot of like, oh, that's interesting. Or, you know, things that I feel like I can probably go back and revisit. Like, oh, I'm having trouble like reestablishing this habit. Like, I wonder, you know, I can probably flip to something in the book that's going to help me there. He does do some of the cheesy self-helpy crap that made me roll my eyes. Like at one point he talks about kind of mentally reframing a thing and saying like, well, instead of saying I have to fold the laundry today, think I get to fold the laundry today. I'm like, bullshit. That never helped anybody. Like, bro, freaking nobody is like, I get to go to work today. Yay.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a hard thing to do. But there is something about there's a principle in there about small stuff adds up to bigger change. And that resonates with me. Right.
Yeah,
so if that's the focus, and it sounds like it is, the thing's literally called Atomic Habits, meaning micro habits.
small things.
Small, yeah, small things. That to me, that rings more true than, do these 7 things and your life will turn around and you'll make mint like F off. None of that is interesting to me. But you do like these little things every day, continuous improvement. Like that makes sense to me. So this is interesting.
Yeah, and he's very sort of practical, and he gives a lot of like real world examples, and so those anecdotes like the British cycling team and stuff like that. Like I just found the story about the British cycling team kind of cool, because it was like, who'd have thunk that like things like the pillow they slept on at night and what color their shorts are and stuff like that, like I mean, they literally they repainted the inside of the van so that they could see where dust and whatnot had accumulated more easily so that they wouldn't get sick, stuff like that. They brought in a surgeon. This part was funny. I cut it out, but I thought it was hilarious. They brought in a surgeon to teach the team how to wash their hands properly so that they wouldn't get sick as often. And I was like, these grown ass men had to be taught how to wash their hands.
Yeah. Why is it always men? Why is it always men, by the way? The men always don't wash their hands. If you go into a room and you say, all right, I want to make a bet. Brian, you're a gambler. And
I'm a gambling man.
There's 50 men here, 50 women here. Which side will have less washed hands after a bathroom visit? And you're going to say the men.
Easily, yeah.
Well,
it's an easy bet.
It's because y'all don't have I think it's a physiological thing that goes to your brain. Like you guys have an external hose basically where you don't have to touch the thing that got wet. Right?
Yeah, but we still touch the hose, and that hose.
I know. Believe me, I'm not arguing against y'all washing your hands. Trust me.
Right. No,
but
I
I'm
know.
just saying, that's probably I could imagine, I didn't really touch anything. I didn't, whereas women, we got no choice. Like our hand is getting at least marginally damp every time we go, no matter what. So we're gonna wash our hands because gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is from people I've seen and said, hey, wash your hands. I didn't touch anything except myself. It's like, yeah, you touched yourself. That's what you touched.
Right. That's the point, is you touched yourself. Yeah. Also, that guy, not that far from the waste management, the other portion of the waste management company. So still, you've been touching things that are in that area. Go wash your hands.
Yeah. Get in there and get that done. Yep. I'm with you. Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Well, there's your.
Go check out that book.
Yeah. There's your nonfiction. Yeah. Give us some fiction. Give me something that someone made up.
So yeah. So this is and my apologies if I asked Brian. I tried to double check and make sure I haven't done this book before. It surprises me that I haven't done this book before. But I love this book and I'm excited to talk about it.
All right.
So there we go.
All right. Here's your clip, everybody.
At the time I first realized I might be fictional, my weekdays were spent at a publicly funded institution on the north side of Indianapolis called White River High School, where I was required to eat lunch at a particular time, between 12:37 p.m. and 1:14 p.m., by forces so much larger than myself that I couldn't even begin to identify them. If those forces had given me a different lunch period, or if the table mates who helped author my fate had chosen a different topic of conversation that September day, I would have met a different end, or at least a different middle. But I was beginning to learn that your life is a story told about you, not one that you tell. Of course, you pretend to be the author. You have to. You think, I now choose to go to lunch, when that monotone beep rings from on high at 12:37. But really, the bell decides. You think you're the painter, but you're the canvas.
Wow.
Yes.
Deep.
Interesting.
This sounds like somebody who doesn't know who they really are to me.
Right. Yeah. So this book is called Turtles All the Way Down. And pardon me, Dr. Calhoun, you spotted it. It is from the Fault in Our Stars guy, whose name is John Green.
Oh.
And yep, it is
That's
indeed
why that
him.
name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, this is a great book, and it is. I mean, it's a young adult fiction. Obviously, she's talking about being in high school, which, by the way, that was jarring to me the first time I went to one of those high school parent night things, and I heard what the bell sounds like now. Like, do you guys remember? Like, we had a bell, like an actual physical bell thing that went. Now they just have like this digital tone thing.
Oh,
that's
really?
Like the bell, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
so
wild.
weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it should be a bell, like a ringing bell.
You know what?
but
That's
nope,
funny
nope,
because
not.
Kim and I were just talking about this. Our local PD here in the city we're in, South Jordan PD. I think it's South Jordan PD. I'm not actually sure, but a bunch of they have new patrol cars, and they don't do sirens anymore. They do this weird, like.
Oh,
like
really?
Like it's a lower tone. It's like deeper. My dogs don't howl to it. I don't know if that was the reason they did it, but it's this new sound. It's still loud and you hear it, but if I'm a guy driving and I hear that, I don't actually know what I'm meant to do. Am I supposed to submit to the alien takeover or pull over for the cop?
Yeah, it doesn't make you feel like you've got to pull over. You're spending more of your time thinking, whoa, what is that sound?
Yeah,
Perhaps I should drive faster to get away from the thing that's growling behind me.
I better get away from the sides of the road and drive right down the middle.
Yeah, and we have cops who listen to the show. Maybe they could write in and tell us what's going on with that, because maybe there's something I don't know about. But anyway, sorry. Back to the book.
No, yeah. So this book is about a teenage girl with OCD and severe anxiety, and just how she's also a regular girl, but she has to try and navigate her life as a person with at times debilitating mental illness. And the fascinating thing about this book to me is the way it is self-referential. Like, you hear her there talking about how she thinks she might be fictional, which of course she is. Mm-hmm. But in the world of the book, she's not. But, so she's referring to there being an author, which of course there is. But I don't know. I just felt like that's was very meta and cool. And yeah.
Interesting.
I love that stuff. Okay. Turtles all the way down.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. I really, really enjoy it. There's a little bit of a murder mystery in there as well, or not really a murder mystery, but more of a just a here we gotta find this missing person mystery, I guess.
Okay.
It's really, really interesting, and it's they're doing a series. Or is it a series or a movie? It's a movie, and it's coming out on Max sometime this spring. And I'm really excited to see it. We actually got to go. John Green came here for SCAD TV Fest. They were doing like a whole thing for Savannah College of Art and Design. And it was like this spur of the moment thing where John Green was actually going to be here, and they were going to be showing like advanced clips of the movie and everything. So Chuck and I took the day off work and we went down there to go see it, because why not? It's like a 30-minute drive. And, we felt like, oh, wow, we're surrounded by all these college students and we're the old fogies who are like out of place. But yeah, I've read this book multiple times, and I think it's a really cool way of looking at and sort of depicting and understanding people who struggle with things like generalized anxiety and OCD and things like that. It's not something like, normal neurotypical people look at that and go, what the hell is wrong with you? Just stop washing your hands, or what, just stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
They can't. They cannot. They would love to, right? Yeah. They would love to not, but their brain is mean to them. Yeah. Really, really mean. And Scott, I know you tend to have some anxiety from time to time, so you can kind of relate to this, right? Like you understand, like, I would love to not panic, to have to talk in front of people or whatever.
When people say to you, hey, just don't panic, that's the dumbest thing you can say to a person who has panic attacks. The dumbest.
Of course.
That's like saying,
oh my God, you can tell I'm panicking, and it makes you panic more.
Because, like, think about it. Would you ever say to somebody who let's say is having seizures, let's say they're epileptic, do you say to them, well, just stop having seizures?
Right. Have you tried not shaking uncontrollably?
Yeah, that's freaking effed up.
That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah, I hate that. I mean, what you should do, if it's someone you really care about, is you hunker down with them, you hold their hand, and you say, all right, just breathe, I'm here with you, everything's going to be okay, and be that kind of support. Supportive is not going, well, maybe just don't panic.
Right. Yeah, I think there it's are you trying to make the anxious person more comfortable, or are you trying to make yourself more comfortable? I think is the key there, because if you're really trying to make yourself more comfortable, then you're the person thinking like, oh, well, just don't do that. You know, just get over it. Go play pickleball. Which is legit. Like my niece, who, you know, lost her mom and was having just like severe mental issues around it, had a boss actually tell her that, like, you know, well, have you tried, you know, like taking up hobbies and stuff? I play pickleball. It was God. Like, yeah, right. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? I asked her, I was like, give me this guy's phone number. I want to talk to him. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
I think he's just trying to recruit another person to his
pickleball
doubles.
team.
Yeah,
right?
mixed doubles tournament. Yeah,
exactly.
I heard that as Mick Double at first, and that made me laugh.
Doubles.
Mick Double.
I can understand why you would think that, Scott.
Sounds real good, actually. Don't tempt me with this terrible food. Well, anyway, this sounds great. And if you thought there was another fault in his stars, well, you'll have to read this new book to see if you can find it. These are both up on quicktms.li, and there's a whole record of our previous episodes where you can find the books that we've talked about with Amy. Amy, it's always good having you on. Always fun.
Yeah, thanks for squeezing me in today. This was great. I apologize if there's lots of banging or anything like that in the background. If you guys are noticing, we're having our roof replaced today.
Oh, fun. Replaced.
I debated like actually going out to my car to record this, but I was like, nah, whatever. Like, man. You know.
No, it's so minor. I heard it and it just sounded like Chuck getting angry at a video game or something and banging on the wall.
Yeah, which I could see.
Which I know
doing.
He's prone to do as well.
Yeah, I could hear that. Well, that's awesome. Good luck with your roof. Hopefully they get it on before it rains. I don't know how this stuff works. We'll talk to you soon.
And tell Chuck.
What were you going to tell him? Your bike.
Tell Chuck keep the facial hair, Chuck. Keep it, man. Looks good on you, man.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
He's got a big old gruffy beard goatee thing.
Amy, send that to me while we're talking because I want to see this. I've not seen Chuck's hair change or his beard change. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was perfect because now we have some time for the news. So we're going to do the news. The news today is brought to you by...
2 artists celebrated a birthday on March 1st. 50 years apart. They're 50 years age difference, and they couldn't be more diametrically opposed music-wise either. Roger Daltrey, lead vocalist of The Who, or one of the lead vocalists of The Who, celebrating his 80th birthday, and Justin Bieber celebrating his 30th birthday. Whoa. Guess what? Not going to play any covers by Justin Bieber, but I'm going to play covers of. So of course you're going to get covers of "Sorry" and "Love Yourself" and "Boyfriend" and "Baby." But then we get to the meat of the show and you hear covers of Baba O'Reilly, Pinball Wizard, Bargain, The Kids Are Alright, I Can See for Miles, and more today on Coverville. Starting potentially, I have an 11:30 phone meeting that could go half an hour, but if it doesn't, then normal 12 o'clock time. But between 12 and 12:15, Coverville will start.
Nice. Guys, check it out. Twitch.tv/Coverville if you want to watch live. You're going to play a game while you do it? You're going to play a little Snap?
I will. Playing Marvel Snap. There's brand new cards. There is the Hope Summers card, Scott and Jean Grey's daughter from another timeline. She, when you put her in a lane and you keep playing cards to that lane, you keep getting more energy to play other cards. So she builds up builds your ability to play more cards.
They didn't try to jam any Madam Web stuff in there, did they? For the movie tie-in or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, they really, like, even when Venom came out, no real Venom, or Venom 2 came out, no real Venom tie-in. They don't they shrug off the Sony stuff, but they did. When Marvels came out, of course, they had some Photon and Ms. Marvel and stuff.
They have no compulsion to keep up with Sony's output.
No.
Why would they? They got their own.
Why would they? Exactly.
Like when that Fantastic Four stuff
happens. How many
happens,
days are we until Craven comes out? Can't wait.
Oh, Craven, you got a lot. You know what? In some ways, Craven's got it easy because it just needs to be decent at this point. It just needs to be okay.
Right. There is such a low bar right now. Like, Craven's got it easy. Craven just has to not suck worse than Morbius and Madam Web.
The hard part is the general public knowing at all who Craven is. Like, Marvel people will know, and a few, a few others might, but that's already a hard sale.
I mean, until Sony decides, hey, we've got these great spider characters, let's make better movies with them and not just use a very formulaic, well, it's not any other kind of movie but a superhero movie. So we introduce the hero, they don't understand their new powers, they make some friends, and then they finally at the very end are excellently skilled at their powers and defeat the bad guy formula. As soon as they figure out A, how to do that, and B, how to put Spider-Man in their Spider-Man adjacent movies, then we can talk.
Then what are you freaking doing? I mean, you got Spider-Verse, which is amazing. By the way, you want to hear something that really pissed me off? The Spider-Verse people, I think we may have brought this up, but the Spider-Verse movie makers,
people behind the Across the Spider, the whole Spider-Verse series,
that whole thing, they approached Warner Brothers about doing a similar take, not a similar take, but their style or whatever on Batman Beyond.
On Batman, on Batman Beyond?
Yeah, it was Batman Beyond. They were going to animate a Batman Beyond, perfect for this, 100% perfect. They even had
cool would have that.
They had concept art, spec work, and all this stuff that's now been shown. Like, you can see it publicly. It looked insanely cool.
That's cool.
And Warner Brothers turned it down because they suck.
Jeez. That does suck. That's
money
lame.
in the bank, dude. If people find out
that
this is like, the Spider-Verse people did it, I mean, that thing's about to win a freaking another Oscar.
It's absolutely going to win. Unless the Miyazaki film, The Boy and the Heron, beats it. That I think is the only contender that could take down the incredible Across the Spider-Verse.
They keep doing this. They're like, this might be Miyazaki's last film finally. This is his real retirement, and then they give him an award, and then he comes back and does another one. And
right.
It's like he's never going to quit. He's in his 80s, I think, and he's still working.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's get to this story about a guinea pig.
Sure. We'll test this. Let's test this story on people and see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see. We're just workshopping it.
Because it's a guinea pig.
Because it's a guinea pig. It's like a test. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The audience, you're the guinea pig. All right?
Yeah. If you're looking around the room and you don't see the guinea pig, it's because you're the guinea pig.
You were it the whole time. A guinea pig to become father of 400 after breaking into female enclosure. Oh, my Lord.
So it's the Nick Cannon of guinea pigs.
Yeah, let's talk
about our second Nick Cannon mention in one day, but never mentioned prior to this.
12 episodes,
25
12 years,
or 2,600 episodes.
Yeah, 12 years of TMS. Never brought him up once. Today he gets it twice. Yeah. Staff at Hatton County Country World in Warwickshire. That's awesome. Understand that they couldn't understand why they suddenly had 100 pregnant guinea pigs on their hands until they realized one of the male rodents had managed to escape his enclosure and infiltrate the female-only enclosure. They noticed the exhausted father-to-be, now nicknamed Randy. I love that so much.
That's fantastic.
Of course, his name is Randy.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with our Randy. Very different kind of Randy. Yeah. Anyway.
By the way, I think it's just Warwickshire. I don't think you pronounce that second W.
Oh, it's not Warwickshire?
I think it's and Zoe, is that right? I heard her say LOL on the pronunciation, Scott. Is it just Warwickshire?
Oh, maybe. So the second W just gets icked.
Or Warwickshire.
I like the idea of Warwick, except that's not Warwick, is it? Like Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
So in my head, that is like that.
You pronounce it Warwick, but his name...
Is it spelled Warwick?
Isn't it Warwick? Isn't it spelled Warwick, Davis?
Might be. I don't know.
We're so used to Dionne Warwick. Look, it's fine. It's
That's the problem. Speaking of that's twice now we brought up somebody connected with... Wait, Dionne Warwick was the aunt of... what's her name?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, right?
Yeah.
Look at all these connections today. It's crazy.
That's right. Yeah, look at that. It all leads back to the women with the most number one singles in Billboard history.
That's right. Well, anyway, this guy got in there and he's been busy. The animal park, which recently had 300 male and female guinea pigs, is now readying itself for a population boom in the next couple of weeks. They'll never forget this. Manager Richard Craddock, or is it Craddock?
Probably Craddock.
Probably Craddock. One of our male guinea pigs managed to find its way into the female enclosure and had a very good time by the looks of it, he says. We suspect a child...
A bunch of little cigarettes all over the cage.
Oh, yeah. All that. Used condoms everywhere. Cigarette they didn't work.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah. They're all broken.
Right.
Just leaky used condoms. We believe the newly named Randy could have impregnated up to 100 female pigs, which have a litter of about 4. So if you do the math, we could be expecting quite a baby boom. So 400 possible babies.
Wow.
Coming out of Randy.
Coming up this spring at Hatton Country World, free guinea pig with ticket.
Yep. Just come to Warwickshire.
That's right. Warwickshire.
I don't know how you say it. Let's see. We got time for this one. Cambridge academic. This is another British story. Look at us staying in Britain.
Wow, look at us. It's living our news across the pond.
That's right. We love you at post-Atlantic friends that we used to hate and then escaped from, but now like again. Cambridge academic escapes toilet after using eyeliner and cotton. Now, when I say toilet, I don't mean they were in a, like here in the States.
In an actual, see what they call a toilet. You see what the English call a toilet. You see is the room that contains the commode. What we call a toilet, you see,
we might call it a bathroom or a restroom here in the States.
Right.
You guys, for some reason, are just like, I'm going to use the toilet. You mean the whole room when you say that.
Yeah. And they don't say toilet paper. They say Bogroll.
That's right. A Bogroll for your bum, for your Fannybum, or whatever different thing you say.
Well, it's either for your fanny or for your bum, Scott.
Well, if you're going the right direction, why not both, I say. Anyway.
if you're agile.
A university academic was trapped in the bathroom of a medieval tower for 7 hours. And escaped using eyeliner and a cotton bud. This is some big-time, what do you call it? MacGyver.
Wow.
Yeah. Big-time MacGyver stuff. University of Cambridge academic Dr. Christina Ilko, I think. Also,
I can't tell what those two vertical lines. It's probably Ilko. It's probably the first one would have to be a capital I. The second will have to be a lowercase l. Sure.
English, dude. What have we done? These Latin letters. They're bad.
Well, and looking at her name, Eastern European, possibly Hungarian.
Yeah, her name is Krisz, Tina. Yeah,
that SZ combination that you see every once in a while.
Very weird. Anyway, resides in the former Queen's College room of the 16th century philosopher Erasmus. That's kind of cool. The historic tower has thick walls, heavy wooden doors, and no window in the bathroom, or as we might call it, the toilet. Dr. Ilko, age 33, said she feared she would be trapped for days. She believed the latch on the heavy wooden bathroom door had been broken by a plumber working on her shower. The door had been locked behind her on Thursday, and the room was not due to be cleaned until the following Monday. Dr. Ilko said, quote, "I was trying to remember how a person can survive on just water and hoping I wouldn't die there." I hope she doesn't mean toilet water. I really don't.
Yeah. Geez.
Right? You don't want that.
No.
It says, if people came looking for me, would they check the bathroom or would they have to wait till Monday? I tried to bang on the shower head on the door, breaking it with brute force, and shout for help, but nothing worked and no one could hear me. Oh. Anyway, she ended up using the whole point of this.
You know what's missing from this story? How she got out of the toilet using eyeliner and cotton.
I know. They really save it till later.
Okay.
Let's see. The eyeliner was used
3 pages down after a bunch of listicles and stuff like that.
It says the eyeliner was used to push down the latch and made a hook out of the earbud. After 7 hours, she was able to unlock the door. That's a long time, though. 7 hours is a long time.
That's pretty impressive, though. And that's, she's thinking.
Yeah, and look at her. She looks like a nice academic lady. Look at her. Yeah, she just looks like,
look at her.
Here I am studying books, and I got reading to do.
Oh, yeah.
Has that look to her. I like it. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back from this break, we're going to talk to Wendi, my sister, the therapist. We have an email for her to address, among other things. So stick around for that. That'll come after this song Brian has prepared.
Well, let's go to a band from San Diego. Big thanks to NC Records and Airshot Media for this. San Diego alternative band called Los Saints. We might have played something from them a couple of years ago. I'll have to look back and see. But this is the first single off of their upcoming debut full length. I think they've had EPs before. This a full length album is coming out this summer. And this is the first single off of it. The song is called Faded. Here are Los Saints.
Don't write with a peach. If you write with a peach, you'll get a very wet letter. Don't write with a prune. Words will come out wrinkled and dopey. Let's face it, the only fruit you can write with is a banana.
And we've come back from that. What was that? Who was that?
Yeah, that was a band called Los Saints from San Diego. A nice quick song, under 2 minutes, a song called Faded. It's the first single from their upcoming album, which is coming out this summer, called Certified.
Nice. If I ever have a sitcom, this is my laugh track. I'm going to play that every time.
That's my high speed. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know how, what's going on.
I love that.
What was that? Mel Brooks?
It was Mel Brooks. This
Don't
pen
write
thing?
with a peach.
Yep, he was. It was like a
For
pen
Bic or something.
Yeah, it was like Bic or somebody like that. I think.
Yeah.
Before Uniball, I know, but it would have been like the '60s or something
Sure.
like that. That guy, we shouldn't bring up his name. He could die any minute, right?
Oh God, I know.
We don't want.
I
We
was
don't
so
want that.
bummed with Richard Lewis, but man, you see recent episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and poor guy was he was really stiff when he walked, and poor guy.
It was looking rough. I mean, he had a form of Parkinson's, but it was one that manifested more in like stiffness and I forget what they call that. There's another word for that. It was very rigid.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, I'm glad they got to finish out the series before he passed.
Me too. Yeah. But
You know?
maybe, man, maybe they should have had so many comedic jokes about, well, when I die, you're gonna go into my will. Like,
one of my favorite things about all that, or it's hard to have a favorite thing about a death of somebody, but let me find this here. I sent it to my kids in our group text. It was Larry David's reaction to finding out that Richard Lewis had passed, and see if I can find it. Come on, I have so many pictures of kids in here. What's going on?
That's really what your group chat is for, so you can have more pictures of kids.
Damn it, I can't find it. All right, well, when I find it, I'll share it. It's very good.
Yeah. Oh, love to see.
Let's get Wendi in here. Let's waste no more time. Well, not wasting it. Whatever. It's all good time spent.
Yeah,
but
jeez, wow.
it's time for her. She has to have her say, and we're going to be the platform for it. So here we go.
I'll explain the situation to Wendi. Don't worry.
Oh, look who it is. It's my sister Wendi. She is here from the Twin Cities, where it used to snow in the winter, but now it doesn't do that anymore. I don't know what it does there now. How do you feel about that, Wendi? How does it feel not to have a proper winter? Hello? Can you hear us? Oh,
Hey,
there she is.
Oh, there you are.
Yep.
Hello.
You're there now. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I was something weird.
Yeah.
It feels great. It feels like it's mid-July.
Why? What happened? How come there were big cold snaps in this country, but they sideswiped you guys as if you never existed? And prior to this, like in the entire history of the states, it feels like you were the hot zone, the cold zone. Yeah, you were the main target. So I don't understand. It's like, is it apocalyptic to everybody there? Are they all like, uh-oh.
Yes. And the state identity revolves around complaining about weather.
Yeah.
And so everyone's complaining it's too warm, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Because, but either way, you kind of love it, but you're also a little horrified. But
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Like, it was 70 degrees on Sunday.
What?
And we barbecued.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, Minnesotans barbecue when it's 45. So that's not
That's not weird, right? But 70, that's great. We're not even, I mean, it snowed again yesterday. Like, we're freaking cold.
I know.
here.
You are having our weather, and we are having, I don't know, Albuquerque's weather. I don't know whose weather this is.
This is a weird person's weather. Albuquerque, maybe Flagstaff, Arizona is what you're getting.
Flagstaff. And next year, I will complain to death when it's 1,000 times the opposite. And so I've adopted my new home motto, which is complain about it either way.
You've acclimated. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you here. We're going to read an email. Of course, that's what we do on Therapy Thursdays. Wendy's a real therapist, helps people with real problems all the time. She comes on here on Thursdays and helps you with yours. And we got an email from somebody we're going to call N, and I will just read this thing and we'll get going. Hi, Wendy. I'm a fan of your segment on TMS, and I get a lot out of it every time you're on it. Well, we only ever have it when you're on it, right?
The segment is the best when Wendy's involved.
Yeah, when she's here, it's a great segment. Anyway, it says, if you read this on the show, I would be stoked, but I also want to get this off my chest right now. I am a 36-year-old father of a 9-year-old girl. We'll call her G. And I divorced from her mother. Divorced. That's when you get kicked off The Voice.
That woman is divorced.
I divorced from her when my daughter was only 9 months old, and we got a 50-50 custody with no problems. I found a new partner when Oh, that was weird. Did you hear that?
That was weird. What was that?
I don't know. Something on Wendy's end. I found a new partner when G was about 2, and eventually led to her moving in and getting married just this past year. Things between G's mother and I were fine and amicable, striving to co-parent in the best of our abilities. Eventually, her mother got a new partner, had a new child with this man. Shortly after the baby was born, they also split up, resulting in her moving out to her own place and having to care for 2 kids with different dads. Recently, my daughter has been telling us that her mother is mean to her, often being rough with her and saying hurtful things to her and the baby. Specific examples being called out for her art or calling her artwork trash. How could you do that to a kid? Oh my gosh, dude. Freaking that makes me madder than anything. Anyway, making her feel guilty and in trouble, saying she's stupid, and an instance where she pinched her to get her to take a photo on Halloween. I want to know more about that. I also notice her mom doesn't make a lot of efforts to see her regularly. And even though we're legally at 50-50, it feels more like 80-20. It's gotten to the point where G no longer wants to go to her mom's house and is starting getting much closer to her stepmom, my wife, as a result. It's been a lot to process over the last few months, and G often confides in me, saying how much she loves my wife, and I have a full house of love and happiness, and that we don't fight at all. She asked me if her mom was ever mean to her, and while I'll spare you the details, I do talk honestly about how we just couldn't get along. I think I want to take her to therapy, but I just wanted to hear what else I could be doing to support my daughter through this. I have bad anxiety. I'm also honestly terrified of confronting her mother about it because I don't know what to expect on a legal standpoint and the trauma of forcing my daughter to go through a nasty court battle. For extra content or context, G's mother also had several kids with several dads and was mean and abusive towards them. But now a picture-perfect grandma acting like nothing ever happened. Thank you, says N. So there's a lot there. I hate this one just for the girl. I just want to smack somebody.
Yeah.
But that's not the point here. The point here is how do we help this little kid and do it so that the dad can also be helpful here in this situation. So Wendy, where do you want to go? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, I think when he said G's mother, I think he means the grandmother, right?
The mother, yes, exactly. The mother of his baby mama. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Baby mama, clearly. Right. Okay.
Baby grandma.
Yeah.
Baby grandma. So, couple of things. This is like a textbook of how generational stuff gets transferred, right?
Yeah.
We've got grandma behaving this particular way, daughter repeating history, maybe a slightly better version of that. And then now your child is the one who's third in line of this sort of behavioral streak. And one thing for just generally understanding this is no one's doing this stuff on purpose. Everyone's got something going on that would have led to this. And so I don't know what grandma's upbringing was, but I'm going to guess it was worse in whatever particular way. And so though there is slight improvements through generations when no one really gets the help they need, it just kind of can continue, right? So here we have a 9-year-old who is at that sort of just the edge of tweendom, and tweendom is a freaky place because so much of your energy goes outward to figuring out where you belong. And who is, who am I in the context of, as your brain changes and you can now think more abstractly and you have, everything isn't just black and white and clear cut. There's nuances and all those things. So this is a big stage for any child, but especially when you're faced with all this complexity of these adults in your life, right? So she is our most important concern here. But like I always say with the old airplane analogy, you got to put the mask on your face and then you help the 9-year-old with the mask on their face, right?
Yeah.
So the thing that caught my eye is that N said, I have bad anxiety. So my first question is, have you done anything about your anxiety? Because the mask on your face makes it possible to do so many more things that you'll need to do to help your kid.
Right.
And this is probably every parent who's listening is just like, well, when will I have time for that? Like I get it. I really do. But if your anxiety prevents you from any kind of confrontation, either it has to be a big confrontation, which will be you'll push it till it's so enormous you have to do something, rather than what you could do if maybe you were managing your anxiety a little bit better. So I'm going to just start there. Like, can you explore a little of what you can be doing so your confidence is a little bigger, or you feel like, and sometimes that might even be talking to your lawyer for a minute, for just a minute, because it's very expensive, but just finding out like, all right, what's the actual thing that would happen if I try to get more custody, et cetera. Because that's kind of what he's referring to here, is what if I do some legal route to have my daughter sort of essentially taken away or not have to be spending time with.
And by the way, if it's a $300 an hour lawyer, that's $5 you'll pay him for that second, or for that.
Yeah. So it's about $5.
A minute for that minute. You can do a whole minute, right?
A minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And you would or you could, half the time you could Google some of this to understand, like, what are my actual rights and what's been set in stone.
Yep.
It did not say they were married. In some states that matters or doesn't matter. And so you just want to know.
Sure.
Yeah. And so that being said, just your own mental health and strength and your functionality is going to be really important. And that of your wife as well, who is playing the role of the surrogate mom at this point, right? Making sure you guys are good is going to be important.
Right.
Okay. But then when we look at what's actually happening here with the 50-50 and it's more like 80-20, here's where oftentimes in cases like this, you go back and stoke the fire of a legal fight and it wakes up mom to then fight back and want more than she probably is capable of doing, right? At this point, she's showing you what she's capable of doing, which is 80-20. And no court is going to give a 50-50 custody unless they can prove she is abusive, and it will be costly and put everyone through a lot to give you even give you 80-20. Now, that said, we don't know, and this is my overarching question. We can't obviously tell this person what to do, but recognizing that having a therapist or a school counselor or whoever you can also connect as a support to her means you have this extra person who also cares deeply about what your kid is going through, knows how the system works, and would be able to sort of identify if her physical, psychological, she's clearly psychologically in danger there, but not to the point where a court might take her away from her parent.
Right.
And so you want some other eyeballs that are not the anxious dad helping the kid here as well. So yes, let's find somebody to help and get other sort of people who see this stuff all the time and can know. And here's the thing. I know this kid is probably not telling him everything. Might be. I don't know. But often what I have found when I've worked with kids years ago is that they would tell me stuff, of course, they would never tell their parents because it's so important for them to protect everybody. And so this kid's protecting dad, protecting stepmom, also protecting mom, even though she's frustrated, because you will protect even a person who abuses you while you feel like you have no choices as a kid. So all these burdens on this little 9-year-old, what we want to do if we think about it in like sort of a strategy here is how do we reduce the burdens on her shoulders? So dad's anxiety is one of the burdens. Sorry to be blunt about that, but it is.
It is.
Mom's immaturity and problematic, all the things, a massive burden on this kid. So what we need is supports that help alleviate that burden. And so dad doing some stuff about your anxiety would be one of those. Getting a professional person involved where she can just relax and say the things she needs to say and start to process. And she's at an age where it can be more verbal. There's still a lot of play therapy that can be done. Like you want to find somebody who's good at this, and feel free to email me and I can help you navigate how to find somebody in your community that would fit some of these descriptions that I'm talking about. And so we have that happening, and then just a conversation with the lawyer of like, hey, I take her to court, maybe just to clarify some stuff. I take her to court to get full custody. What would that even look like? And really, in the best case scenario, you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
There has to be a lot of abuse, typically.
Yeah. But I think you've got to document. I mean, at this point, document everything, whether or not you end up using it or have to use it. I feel like at this point, just document everything, capture screenshots of text messages or anything that you can that's written. It sounds like it's a lot of verbal, unfortunately.
Yeah, verbal,
which makes it much harder. But
right. And the thing about that, Brian, that's a really, really important point. That document everything, keep track of, whatever your daughter says, write it down. Here's the thing, but you are not an abuse investigator. You are not the police. You are not a social worker. So for you to try to ask her questions to get more information is useless in court. It's useless in a lot of ways. And what it does is it makes you less trustworthy for her.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine the temptation, right? To be like, she's crazy. What'd she do today?
Right. Exactly. Here, let me get this little pocket recorder, get my phone out and record this. Tell me what she did today. And that, that backfires with trust on the dad then as well.
And in very big ways. And that's why when I say manage your anxiety, I'm kind of referring to some things like that, where it gets more tempting the more scared you are to do things that are probably not in your best interest or hers. So yeah, documenting things, think of it in terms of just.
Is that the documenting things also, I know obviously helpful, potentially helpful if you can in a court case, but probably also helpful to a therapist, right? To be able to say, here are some things that that she's said. And the therapist, it's going to be less like, I don't know, can we verify this information? But it's going to be obviously, If you say it, of course it means something. Yeah.
Yes. And you definitely want somebody who is, anyone who's working with a child with two households in clinical ways is usually pretty versed in court stuff and custody battles. And there are definitely therapists that don't want anything to do with that. So you want somebody who can just be, who's comfortable enough with that because they're experienced enough with that. Because if it comes down to it, that may be what you need to do in order to protect your child. But you do need other eyeballs. And it's just too much to navigate using skills with this person who no one has the skills to actually navigate. Right? It's really tricky. And nor should a 9-year-old have those skills yet. But that said, I was just thinking maybe even in a broader context of, what can we help her with, right? Because you're describing this like, where did it go? Sorry. I was thinking of last week's. He doesn't describe much about how she's responding. Like, is she anxious? Is she struggling in school? It's more about, right? Did I miss that?
Let's see.
Yeah, he doesn't say much about how she's handling it.
Yeah,
she's just getting closer to the stepmom.
Best I can gather from that is because she's got these two examples, one that seems to be more caring and not abusive.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You would gravitate toward the more caring adult.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Well, because what I'm seeing too. Sorry, I was getting it. My phone flipped up and it went to last week's, and I was like, "Whoa, I
weird.
missed this whole section on diarrhea." Or like needing to be near toilets because I mean, it's not in here, but it would be interesting to know how is she responding, because if this kid is telling you, "Hey, mom's doing this. This sucks. I hate it. I want to spend more time with you guys." And getting closer to stepmom, but she's not having any struggle in school. She's not overly anxious. She's just sort of, just giving you information. That's interesting as well. Is she complaining of stomach aches? Is she, what are her symptoms? And it's not in here, which makes me think her symptoms might not be real obvious if there's any. Because sometimes a kid is metabolizing it differently than another kid might. And so maybe she's like sort of used to this is who my mom is. And yeah, it's escalating because there's other kids involved now, and she's already maybe not super duper attached to her mom in some ways. And so you want someone to help assess that, because if it's all hidden and pushed down and you don't know about it, that's not what we want. Right. Mm-hmm. But also we don't want to, pathologize a kid who is handling it in certain ways. We just want to make sure it's healthy and she feels supported. Right.
Right.
Yeah, the legal stuff I can't obviously talk about it.
Sure.
With any kind of degree of certainty, but I just do know a court will do their darndest to keep access to parents. And so it's got to be pretty bad. And so sometimes working with a lawyer or getting good advice from a therapist to help how you ought to navigate that. And maybe we just enjoy the 80-20 and we build her up to be really resilient in that 20% she's with mom. And at some point she decides that's not what she wants to do and she legally can make that decision. So there's a long road ahead still. We can say something, Brian.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. Is there any, not knowing this situation further than what we've heard here, is it worth trying to talk to the biological mom and say, she's reacting to this. Our daughter is reacting to this. She's having a real problem with this. I know, it's probably really tough for you. Would you consider getting therapy just to improve the relationship between you and your daughter? Or do you think she'd be totally like, just hearing what we hear about the girl's mother might be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right. Well, and I that's a really great question. I think the things I have seen, often it's a child having problems and the school notices and a teacher who is paying attention, refers them to the school counselor or whatever. And then there is hey, your kid needs some stuff. And so mom or dad will comply when normally they wouldn't, because it's coming from a third party. So I'm assuming.
Gotcha. So having it come from the school, if it comes from someone, would be better than having it come from the husband, the ex-husband or the father.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly. And I mean, even just his line, I have bad anxiety and I'm honestly terrified of confronting her mother. We know that
there's a reason for that. And it might be she's
not reasonable.
Well, she keeps having, the one thread here is that this is now 2 cases at least of her having a baby. Yes. And then almost immediately leaving. Like there's almost immediately a divorce. And it's twice that's happened. I mean, that seems like a pattern. One time's like, okay, well, wrong match, didn't work, whatever. And he even said it seemed like it was a pretty good 50-50 arrangement and fine and whatever. But as the daughter got older, things got weird. And now she's in the same boat again with somebody else. And I don't know, there's something hefty going on that side of it.
Yeah.
But that's not really the point, right? We can't tell her. We can't fix that lady. Yeah, we got to fix this.
No. And that is no one's job. But you still are having to work with who it is.
Yeah.
So rather than so Brian, your point's a really good one. If someone is just having a hard time and is also mature enough to manage,
is receptive enough,
which and it doesn't cares enough about the kid, right? Like they genuinely want what's best from the kid. It's hard to say that that's accurate. And this is a person's capacity. I always see it that way. I don't see it as like, oh, it's a bad mom. I see it as
whether they want to or not. Are they able to, physically able to?
Yeah. And also just emotionally, the level of volatility. And we can look at grandma and go, okay, well, we can see childhood after childhood in this sort of generationally not, being raised by immature parents. if I tie it back to last week's book. And so finding a way to thread that needle is tricky. And, I think it's helpful to get some support in doing that. And it's just so you kind of have a plan and know what you're doing. And really, a lawyer might say, and I've just seen this a couple times, where they're like 80-20 is the best you would ever get. So let's enjoy that. And then we just make sure we do what's in her best interest. So I'm going to switch just to one thing for the 9-year-old. You know how I love Girls on the Run. That was my first thought. Like, this girl needs Girls on the Run.
Sure.
Or any kind of programming. What I love about Girls on the Run is it's very evidence-based and amazing. But it's also this where she's getting community and support, and like she'll be more mature than her mother in a couple years, right? That kind of stuff where it's just psychosocial, emotional support and growth and skills, right? That are going to just build her ability to navigate having her mom behave this way. Then the stepmom is this awesome, like buffering influence or mitigating influence of connection and some of those things she needs from a mother. And so making sure that relationship is safe and healthy is also great and important. And maybe overall, just some empathy for how hard this is to have this little creature that you love so much, and you can't control this other major influence in her life. Just know, hey, I'm sad to say it's not the first and it will not be the last. But to figure out how to get yourself the support you need to do that. I think so often we parent alone. The adage that America hates parents feels true. There's just not a ton of support if your family can't do that supporting. And that's why often people will over rely on bad influencing kinds of family, or it's all the daycare I can get is staying with your crazy
angry mom. Yeah.
Or your angry mom, or there's just there's a lot of things that can strap someone into feeling like they're alone, and that they have the best they can do is harming their kid. And so recognize there are supports, there are programs, you are not alone. You don't have to navigate this on your own. And your anxiety is the warning here. Like, this is important. So rather than anxiety getting to take over the show, we want anxiety to be, it's just the alarm bell saying stuff's got to happen here. We got to do some things. And so it's going to take some courage. It's going to take some work. But you're not alone. And you can do this.
Sounds like a lot.
And one day you're going to have a 20-year-old kid thanking you obsessively for being the bond and the connection and safety that she has been. She'll still have to navigate that mom as long as she's alive and even after. So we just want to equip her to do it.
Yeah. And in some ways you have like an advantage here. And I don't mean to say, well, I'm not saying you're gaming the system, but you are going to be the parent that is the hero at the end of this.
That she comes to and trusts.
And all you have to do, all you have to do is care about her. And you do, clearly. And then these other ideas that Wendy's got are the next step. But if you start with that, you're golden. Like you've got an opportunity here to not only make things better for her and to improve her life, but as time goes on, and then you're going to need the support, she's going to be there for you in a way that that you're going to want. So
yeah,
I'm not saying
the baby in this situation, because I don't know if the second ex-husband, or the father of the baby, has the same kind of support structure that can make sure that baby gets what it needs when it's old enough to.
I hope so.
To need it.
Yeah, I hope so, because you're right. There's a whole nother kid involved in this that we can't even.
The 9-year-old, we can help. The baby, who knows?
Yeah. Well, let us know. Follow-ups are always encouraged here on Therapy Thursday. And speaking of which, therapythursdays.com is a place you can go and contact Wendi directly. In fact, she requested one of those today, so go there and do that today. Also, there's stuff coming from there. There'll be announcements and things. Probably nothing to make yet, right? We're just,
we gotta gear up, but Good things coming. I have some fun things I've done with some clients. Like, what do they call them? Beta testing.
Sure.
And just so exciting and fun. So I'm excited. So people, sign up. I will only use your email when it is time to announce it. But I'm creating kind of a new email list from real steps to this. So
nice.
Go to therapythursdays.com, put your email in.
Yep, Therapy Thursdays with an S. And sometimes people say, I don't see it. I'm like, put an S on there. Oh, there it is. So you'll find it one way or the other. Wendi, is always a pleasure talking, or pleasure, as Dad would say, talking to you. And may your week be full of people with less problems than usual, I guess. Bye now. All right, there she goes, everyone. Yeah. Good stuff as always, and I hope that works out. Speaking of dads who love their kids, last night, I won't give too many names, but I'll say little Sarah came by the house. Listener, I don't know if he wants me to say their names on the thing, so I won't do it, but brought our Girl Scout cookies that we ordered from them.
Oh, nice.
They delivered them. It was so sweet. So thank you for that. She seemed like an awesome kid. And
it's very expensive because they actually live in Michigan, but it was very nice of them to do that.
Coming all the way here from Detroit. Man, what a kid. I have not
so far, which cookie is your favorite? Scott?
I haven't eaten anything yet because I'm really not supposed to, but Kim and the girls all have enjoyed so far everything. Carter, what's the best cookies that girl brought? Lemon ones? I'm gonna have to cheat. Ones.
I'd say the Adventurefuls. I think they're the new business.
Yeah.
Had one of those yesterday, and woo-wee, it's really good.
Tell me what's in those. What are they?
It's a chocolate. It's like a brownie flavored cookie, still a crisp, crumbly cookie.
Yeah.
But then with a little disc of caramel and chocolate drizzled across the top.
Oh, that sounds all right.
Like a little chocolate and caramel brownie, basically.
Sold. I'm sold.
Yeah, and small, and nice little small size. I don't know how it's like only 1,000 calories per, but yeah.
How about coconut? Anywhere near it? Because I don't like coconut.
I don't mind the coconuts. The Samoas, right?
Samoas, yeah, I hate those.
Are the ones, yeah.
Can't eat those.
Tina gets those every single time. It's like, all right, that's fine. Those are fine.
Blah.
Oh, put the brownie ones in the freezer? We do that with the Thin Mints. Oh, I like that idea with the brownie ones in the freezer. Okay, I will.
That's a great... Who said that? That's a great idea. I love that.
It was Tom Norm.
Tom Norm, thank you for your Norm thing that you did.
Tom Norm.
Let's do a couple of quick things here. I got a swag update for our folks coming to Vegas. And depending on how many tickets sell, some of you who are getting swag only, although that's not up for sale yet, but... We're trying to be a little smarter about how we do this year. But anyway, the swag update is this. I can tell you what's in there now. Okay, so what's coming with your tickets? Still should have your tickets. Get your tickets no matter what. But here is the swag list. If I can pull it up, Scott, you're a little late here with the thing. There we go. This is going to come with a one-of-a-kind, this year only challenge coin, double-sided, beautiful challenge coin.
Yeah.
Based on this year's key art. Also some stickers that I'm working on with a new provider, and Carter's helped me with those as well, which is nice. A couple of prints, of course, a bag for all of this. We got these big tumbler things that are like the fancy Stanley ones, but they're going to have a big old TMS Vegas thing on the side of it. And they're big, the big ones. So when you're in Vegas, you have no excuse to stay hydrated. Just always be drinking out of that thing.
Yeah, definitely, and do that for sure. But no picture of Stanley on that one. I feel like like my idea got snubbed.
It's a great idea. It's just these aren't actual Stanley mugs, and I didn't want to get in any kind of legal expectation trouble.
No, you just put a picture of Stan Lee.
No, I get that. I get the joke. Okay. I get the joke.
Right. Well, then you don't have to worry about people from Stanley coming after you.
Yeah, still a good joke either way. But yeah, we'll see what's on there. That part hasn't been finished yet, so maybe Brian's right. Maybe it should be a Stanley logo.
Glasses and a cheesy mustache will do it.
Yeah, we might do that still. Anyway, that
maybe I could just get a bunch of Stan Lee stickers and you can put them on there.
That may work as well. Coasters are coming with this. Some very cool coasters, again, based on the key art. And we're working on enamel pins as well. That one is the only one that's just sort of hanging out there waiting for proofs and costs, but I think that'll be there as well. So it'll actually be, by the end of this thing, it'll be our biggest swag bag ever. And very excited for them. The tumblers with stainless steel interiors, by the way, these are nice ones. I've already filled half of my living room, and I don't know how we're driving these to Vegas, but we're going to find a way. So maybe we have to buy a truck. I don't know. We'll see. What
Like
happens.
a U-Haul or something. Oh, geez. Okay.
It's gonna be big. But anyway, watch for more. I'll put pictures up soon. That part's not done, but I wanted to at least let people know what they can expect. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, head on over to VivaTMSVegas.com, and there is a link right there. You can find it on the regular Frog Pants store as well. All right. Some stuff for the weekend. Brian has a show today around noon to 12:15, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. Or as you put it, 12 noon.
Noon. I don't know why I put the extra O in there, but
it's good. It's worth the extra O. The Who and Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah, that's right. I cannot believe he's only 30. I could have sworn he was been 30.
I remember when he was just a little 25-year-old peeing in mop buckets.
Walking around with hookers in South America or whatever he was doing.
Throwing rocks at his neighbor's windows or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a sorry song for all that, I guess. I don't know.
That's what's for it. That's right.
Yep. I actually kind of like that song. Anyway.
I do too.
Core,
a cover.
There's brand new. Is it a cover?
Well, no, the cover. I may be playing a cover by the 1975 of that song.
I was going to say yet another case of a cover. I didn't know it was a cover.
Yeah, no. As far as I know, none of his hits are covers. Pretty sure none of them were written by him. But
yeah,
pretty sure
all of his hits are written by ghostwriters, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Core tonight, 4 p.m. Mountain. Be here for that. I think it's just Bo and I tonight because John is moving house, as the British would say, and he's going to be tied up with that. But Bo and I have a lot to talk about. We had a Microsoft event. We got some other big stuff to cover, including games we played. So be there at 4 p.m. Mountain for Core. Guess the Connection tomorrow, 9 a.m. Per usual. Some prizes and fun. Yeah.
Prizes and fun. 6 songs. What do they have in common? You tell me, and you win a prize.
Yep. Twitch.tv/Coverville for that as well. Couch party shortly after that, 10 a.m. We're doing another Firefly episode, so we're catching up on that. Right. And that'll be 10 a.m. tomorrow here at the frogpants.tv domain. Giving you all these domains just to confuse everybody today. Play Retro tomorrow at 1:30, same place. And also some Unreal Tournament 2K4 play after that. So if you want to stick around for that, we'll be playing.
Unreal Tournament 2K4 play. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
4-play.
4-play. Gotcha.
Yes. And then Film Sack, Sunday, one of my personal favorites of the Western genre, or what I would call the modern Western genre, even though this is 84. It still kind of marks the beginning of a new age of Westerns for me. Anyway, I love Silverado. I can't wait to talk about it. We're doing Film Sack on Silverado, so gear up for that. All right, that's it. We got a couple of quick things to read here. A little education on the X-ray dude and his wife. We talked about the guy who invented X-rays. He tested it on his wife. I made some flippant comment about him. Did they check her for cancer or something like that?
Yeah, right, yes.
And boy, howdy, did this go places. This is from Kelly, who says, hey, scatter and berms. These are X-ray, or brems, sorry. These are X-ray terms.
Brems.
I don't know what a brem is, but whatever. Kelly here, regarding the Pond Champion.
Reigning
Pond. Oh, this is Kelly the winner. Oh,
Kelly
right.
38th, the Pond Champion, yes.
I knew this. I wanted to.
I'm still waiting, by the way. I don't have a box big enough to ship his prizes, so I'm waiting for an Amazon delivery that's got a box big enough to put these in.
Do you have anything coming that you can, put in?
I hope so. I don't know. Between Tristan and his girlfriend and Tina and me, it seems like we get 5 or 6 Amazon boxes a week, so it's got to be something.
Yeah, there'll be something in there. We get this one for dog food that's huge, but probably too big for what you need.
Yeah.
We could bury your body.
Might get a Blue Apron box, actually, is what it might end up.
Yeah, that's not bad. Blue Apron's
that's
pretty
not
big.
Bad. A lot of packing material in.
Just don't include the freezing gel or whatever it is. All right, it says here, says Scott mentioned something about Rotigen's wife getting hand cancer after she experimented by taking the first X-rays of her hand. The first known death due to exposure to X-rays was Edison's lab assistant named Clarence Daly. He first noticed cancerous sores appearing on his hands, and after several attempts to treat them with skin grafts, he eventually had to have both hands amputated. Unfortunately, the level of exposure was so extensive, he had to have both arms amputated as well. But the cancer had already spread to his other organs. He died pretty painful death. Edison then quit doing any research on X-rays, famously saying, quote, "Don't talk to me about X-rays. I am afraid of them," unquote. Thank you again, Brian, for the work you put into setting up the pond, and I look forward to defending my title. Nice. Agreed on both counts. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't really know the history of all that, but
and then Edison said, forget X-rays. Let's go on to electrocuting elephants.
Yeah.
Let's move on to that.
Yeah, I'd rather kill an elephant than my assistant or something. I don't know. People die when we innovate. It happens. The other day I was getting those X-rays from the dentist.
Hopefully we're getting better at not having to do that.
Yeah, but it'd be like, you remember, okay, so high school age, you go to the dentist. They had a thing they put a metal deal on you, put a thing up on your face, leave the room and go, and then come back. Now they don't do that anymore. They just walk up with a little gun and just hold it there, and it's like no big deal and not dangerous. And I don't know, man. Time. Progress.
Yeah.
I hated that back in the day. All right.
Yeah.
Let's. We also got a very odd call. I'm going to play it. It's 19 seconds. Here it is.
Hey, Scott and Brian. This is, you can call me Fabian the Farmer. If you're ever in Nova Scotia, Scott, give me a call. You can help me out with my chores here. I don't know. I think Brian's right about what grosses you out the most. Probably would be something.
All right, and then it cut off for some reason. Now, best I can tell, A, first of all, it got cut off, so we don't really know what this call's about. B, it was hard to understand him because I think he's on a goat farm. There's goats.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like goats in the background. And Nova Scotia is what I got.
Yeah.
He's from Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it.
Help me out with my goats? Is that what he said? And I think I know what gross Scott out the most, so I don't know.
And I don't know what he means.
Yeah.
I don't know what he means, but whatever that was, if you want to write in again or just fill us in because your call got
probably
cut
what
off.
It sounds like at a Nova Scotia Chipotle or something.
Yeah. Brr.
Sour cream.
Brr. More guac. Brr. Yeah, that was awesome. So whatever that was for, I'm glad to have played it here on the show.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. Don't forget, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/TMS. Also, don't forget that all roads lead to and from frogpants.com/TMS. And for those in the chat, hang around, because if you've been submitting titles, we're going to choose from your title shortly and build out today's title and things. So stick around. That's going to do it for us. Brian, let's play a song before we go.
Yeah. Oh, Ism87 says it's about Scott's desire to live on a farm. Good point. That's what it's about. It's the
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I missed all that. I don't know that I would want to raise sheep.
No.
I just want to have land and like some chickens.
Yeah, you want land, you want a patio that wraps around at least 2/3 of your house.
Yeah.
And you want a rocking chair and a sprig of wheat in your mouth while you rock on the rocking chair and whittle.
Yeah, and whittle. I want to whittle some wood. Exactly. Brian knows what I want. This is what I want.
I know what you want.
I want a dog, maybe some chickens, maybe a pig. Not many pigs, just a pig.
A pig. Yeah.
That I can give a funny name to. And then I want really good, thick pipe ISP internet.
Somebody please isolate Scott saying that he wants a really good thick pipe. I want that. I want that audio clip.
You want that? Brian needs a new ringtone for me. All right, Brian, let's play a song. What do we have lined up?
All right, going out to Dave from Toledo. Hey there, smoking a brisket. Look at that. He made a phrase. It's been awesome listening to you over the last decade of podcasting epicness. I hope the spring brings new life to everyone's world as I turn the ripe age of 41. I request a version of Staying Alive from the Bee Gees or someone similar. It would be...
Who is someone similar to the Bee Gees?
The DGs. It was Dave Grohl's Bee Gees cover band from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that sounds
very
right.
similar to the Bee Gees. I'll leave it in the cover master's hands to figure out where to go with this. Anyways, keep doing what you're doing. Stay safe, everyone. And most of all, I need to actually say stay safe. You didn't do say safe. And most of all, keep staying awesome. Doc383 in the chat when I can't tune in live. Signed, Dave from Toledo.
Good to have him here. I hope Toledo's going well. Home of Klinger, Maxwell Klinger.
No, that's right.
Ohio.
Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right. So a cover of Staying Alive. Sure. I've got one for you. This is not by the Bee Gees or someone similar. It's by Dweezil Zappa. Yeah. The son of Frank Zappa, the late great Frank Zappa, son of Dweezil Zappa, with guest vocals by Donny Osmond. Wrap your brain around all that and listen to Staying Alive.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Save a pretzel for the gas jets.
I